new hairdo or not, I won't forget you next time. She goes, yeah, I'm actually really easy to remember because I'm Nikki. Yes, you're Nikki. Very good. Because I'm Nikki. I do pornography. I make porn just right in front of my dad, who had a nightmare of a time because of how crass the show was. This woman's like, yeah, I make pornography. I make people giggle and orgasm. Hello. Welcome to the Bubble Boy podcast. Doing a solo episode because two people recently canceled on me in a row. It's hard to do a podcast without a guest, so I figured I'll do it myself. Let's be honest. My second most listened to episode of all time is me by myself. So maybe that means something. So we'll see how a solo episode goes, round 2. It's not 2 a.m., and I'm not distracted driving, so this may not be as fun as the last one, but here we go. We're shooting off solo episode. Can you get that? It's too glary. I have a Nitro Pepsi Vanilla. If you haven't had, real quick, let me get this a little crack in here. Ooh, you hear that? And then you got to pour it. You got to pour it like a Guinness. You got to pour it hard. Will this get into the webcam? Look at that. Look at that. I spilled a lot. I spilled a lot doing that. The only other time I've had this Nitro Pepsi, it's flat Pepsi with like a creamy, with a head on it like a beer. You can't, you could see that. So it's just flat Pepsi underneath with that like foam on top. So as soon as you finish drinking that, it's just flat Pepsi. But this is the vanilla flavor. So we'll give a Nitro Pepsi a shot. Here we go, bottoms up. Yep, that's just a Pepsi. Dr. Pepper recently outshining Pepsi. Dr. Pepper is now the number 2 most popular soda drink in the United States. Pepsi is now number 3. So, first of all, we did it. Everybody, we did it together as a team. We got her to the top, everyone. This is Dr. Pepper being the number 2 soda in America. I feel the same way that people do when they're like, the Broncos are in the Super Bowl. We did it. We made it to the Super Bowl. We won the basketball game. That's how I feel. I've done nothing to contribute other than buy the merch, other than buy soda pop, but I feel like I helped bring Dr. Pepper into a new era. So I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty happy about it. But because Dr. Pepper is now the number 2 soda, Pepsi is on the table. It's an independent brand. I'm making up what independent brand means, but it's number 3, so we can drink it. I'm saving that's flat Pepsi. Saving Coca-Cola for you got to save Coca-Cola for a big one. Like I got the guest on here, or I'm quitting doing the podcast. That's what we got to save Coca-Cola for. It's got to be a big one. But yeah, super excited about Dr. Pepper. I really want to have a brand loyalty leg. I want to have different brands that I am a fan of that I think deserve my body. I want to get them tattooed on one leg. Chief of which will be Dr. Pepper, followed by Culver's, the fast food restaurant, followed by Tillamook Dairy. It's the best of the dairy options out there. If you're not getting your ice cream or your cheese by Tillamook, what are you even doing? I just realized the burps are going to be a lot more interruptive in a solo podcast than when there's other people here. Also drinking. Look, it's gone. Look at the foam on that. It's gone already. What this product is for no one. I don't know how this got greenlit, but it's fun and fancy, I guess. But brand loyalty leg, and I'm not sure if I should just do it. If I should just get brands tattooed on my leg, this is my brand loyalty leg, or if I should section off in like dotted lines. I should map out segments of my leg and offer them up to the highest bidder. Like Dr. Pepper, I will tattoo your logo on my leg in this quadrant for however much money, $25 a square inch or whatever. Maybe that's an exorbitant rate. Maybe if I was fancier, I could get away with that. But yeah, I don't know if I want to sell my body for money. In any way, really, outside of brand loyalty even. I'll do whatever it takes to get this kitchen renovated. We just had a cartoonishly kind man come and look at our floors in the kitchen to tell us how much it's going to cost to renovate them. And about 9 times he just said, wow, this is really interesting. You guys have a really interesting floor situation. Yeah, this is like coming up out of the ground the way it shouldn't too, and your subfloor is actually higher than where it should. And this is just, I've been doing this for 40 years. You guys just have a really interesting floor. I'm like, tell me it's bad and tell me it's expensive. They just kept saying it's very interesting. It's very interesting floor you got here. Doing this 40 years, never seen a floor like this, which is not a great sign. And Lydia was like, oh, well, the subfloor, this floor is weird. It's a weird little thing. But if you look behind the refrigerator, you can actually see the old vinyl that they had on the floor in this kitchen here, back in the Dizzy. That's how my wife talks. And the gentleman he said, oh, there's tile back there, there's vinyl back there. And he looked and he went, oh, that's not good. That's bad. I was like, why? Is the vinyl, is that asbestos? He's like, no, but the glue that holds it onto the floor probably is. So you probably, if that's what's underneath these floorboards, if they didn't rip this up, you have asbestos in your entire kitchen, which means we can't do anything about that because that's going to be like $30,000 in mitigation for asbestos. Guys, I love the character. I love the bones of these old homes. This house was built in 1955. Buy a new house. Buy a new house with not asbestos, without a bad foundation, with, PVC pipes and not cast iron, which when we had some plumbing guy out here to help us, he's like, yeah, never pour like Drano down your shower, your sinks, because what Drano does is it creates lye, and lye will destroy your cast iron piping. And I'm like, I've been putting Drano in these pipes since we've moved in here. For like a year, I've been putting Drano in these pipes. So just buy a new house. Just buy a McMansion. Or don't buy a house. Live in an apartment forever, and then you don't have to worry about any of this. Just live in an apartment forever. This was a huge mistake. But what are you going to do? Love the bones of this home. This little inset behind me, the like old lady who lived here before us, Barbara, she just built all kinds of stuff like this at the house. When we were at the the lease signing the contract to say we're buying the house. She was there, old Barbara, which is, I don't know if that last time our first house when we signed it, it was just like the two like our realtor, their realtor, and then us signing contracts. The other person wasn't there, but Barbara was there, so we met Barbara, and she was telling us about the house. She was telling us about why the neighbors next door are a bunch of pieces of trash, and why they're the worst neighbors ever, which was like, don't tell us that as we're buying your house. That's bad salesmanship. Come to find out later, they were terrible neighbors because she had such a huge tree in her yard, and it was growing over their driveway, and sap would drip onto their cars and make their cars all drippy and disgusting. And they're like, "Hey, could you trim your branches just to get it off our property?" And she threw a hissy fit and was like, "You can't tell me what to do with my property. This is America. You never tell me what to do again." So it turns out Barbara was just a little nuts. The neighbors have actually been great the entire time we've lived here. But when we met Barbara, she told us some things about the house that are very interesting. Actually, there's 3 spots that I found, but she only told us about one in particular. Where I sit, this is my left hand. Down here, at the bottom of this kind of inset, there's a false bottom that has a little like loop on it, a little fabric loop that you can't really see because it's tucked up. But if you grab that little loop and pull up, it'll pivot up the whole false bottom of this. She's like, "Yeah, that's where my son used to store his marijuana. That's his like weed hiding spot." Which is interesting because I'm like, did your son craft a weed hiding spot out of this? Or you craftsman, did you build that for him? I don't really know, but there is a little drug compartment built into this. I've also, in that closet right over there, some nice big closet, lots of storage. There is a false panel on the ceiling of the closet in there that you push up and you can move out of the way, and it doesn't go anywhere. Like, it's not like, oh, this is an access point to a water line or whatever. It's just a fake piece in the roof, I think, again, for hiding drugs. And we found a vent. There's a vent, set into the wall, little vent cover on top of it. You unscrew that vent cover. It doesn't go anywhere. The vent cover does not vent to anything. It's completely solid behind it, other than like a little inset. I think that's for hiding drugs. There's at least 3 places in this house where you can hide drugs from the feds. So this was either a criminal enterprise or just a libertarian household. Either way, I'm down for it. But yeah, there's 3 places in this house you can hide drugs. So anyone needs to hide stuff. My fees are nominal, I guess. Lydia got surgery. Speaking of drugs, Lydia got surgery recently. And they sent her home with like 25 Oxycontin or something like that. And she took 4 because she's so worried. She's in like excruciating pain, but she's so worried that she's going to get addicted to opium. She didn't want to take any of it. So we have 20 of the 25 Oxycontin, just in a pill bottle somewhere. And my wife's a much better person than I am. I'm a clean-cut guy. Look at me, huh? I was like, I know so many people who will buy this from us. I'm surrounded by comedians who would 1,000% buy 20 Oxycontin pills from us. We need the money. We got to fix this. We got to get asbestos probably taken out of our house. Let me sell the drug money. Let me sell the drugs for drug money. And she said no. She said no, that's not a moral or legal, safe or righteous thing to do. It's like, what the hell, lady? We need the money. I don't know how much Oxycontin goes for. $200? That's $200. That's not nothing. That's tile. For the bathrooms, at least. But I would be very down. If it wasn't for my beautiful, lovely, righteous woman of a wife, I 1,000% would have sold these pills by now to a bunch of degenerate comedians. I would have sold them drugs and still think like, I'm better than you. Actually, I'm better than you. Even though I sold you drugs, I would still have a complex about it. I think I'm better than all of them, but I just have different kinds of vices. That's all. Look at me. Look at this shrine to gluttony that I have behind me. I'm missing a bottle. I saved my Nuka-Cola Victory bottle from when me and Mike did the podcast, and that's still in a car somewhere. I did, speaking of which, past couple episodes, I implored you, for the love of God, please buy tickets June 9th to see me feature for Mike Hammock at Comedy Works. None of you did. None of you did buy tickets. So, what the hell? But we thought there was going to be like 40 people there. Me and Jason Alexander helped Mike Hammock with like a Facebook ad campaign thing. And we asked Mike before the show, we're like, what does it look like? He's like, well, I don't have numbers directly from the club, but the club told me they sold like 20 tickets. This is like on Thursday or Friday or something. The show's on a Sunday. He goes, they said they sold like 20 tickets, but they have like 80 reservations or something like that, and those are just free tickets. People get like free passes from Comedy Works all the time. So people use their free passes to reserve a spot at the show on Sunday. So if there's 80 of those, let's expect 10 of those to actually show up. And then maybe 10, 15 more tickets the day of. So if we get 40, 45, if we get 40 plus on a Sunday at the South Club at Comedy Works, I'm happy. That's all Mike told us. If we get 40 plus on a Sunday at Comedy Works Comedy Works South, that's good. I think that shows that I tried. I put some effort to it. He was telling us he hosted or featured there a couple weeks before for a Sunday night show, and it was like 20 people. So he's feeling as long as he can beat 20, he's happy. 40 plus would be great. And me and Mike are sitting in the green room before the show, and the manager comes in, Anders, very nice man. Mike asks him, what are we looking at? And Anders says, yeah, if everyone who reserved a ticket and bought a ticket, if everyone we expect to shows up, it's going to be about 200 people. And Mike and I were like, when are you, what does it actually look like? Nope. Apparently there was a huge spike the day before, day of. And, it was like 200 people. Comedy Works South on a Tuesday looks pretty good. Looks pretty good for old Hambone, for old Mike Hammock. So that was sick. Jason Alexander hosted. He got there 2 minutes before the show started. That was a crazy move, Jason. You and Jason, we would like to get promoted at Comedy Works. We want to become regulars at the hottest club in town in the state. So we would love to get promoted there. And one thing they always tell you is be kind to the wait staff, pick up after yourself, be funny, but be polite to the wait staff, all that good stuff. So Jason and I took that to heart. We're like, what if we brought pizza and donuts for all the staff and just say out loud, we're sucking up. We're fully sucking up. Here's pizza and donuts. Please like us. So last minute, I decided, I'm like, donuts at 7 p.m. There's no way those are going to be good. Those are going to be stale. Someone made those donuts at 5 a.m. So I brought candy bars. I just went and bought, I'm like the good street on Halloween, the good house on Halloween. I just bought a bunch of full-size candy bars and brought them for the staff. And Jason was just going to order pizza and bring it, and everyone's going to love us and carry us out of there like Rudy because we brought them small treats. Anyways, Mike thought that was lame and gay. He thought that was the lamest thing, the most desperate thing he's ever heard. He did not stop bullying me the entire time with my box of candy bars. And Jason, he was supposed to drive up with us, and he elected not to. And he texted Mike and I and said, hey, I'm not going to be able to drive up with you guys. I'm going to be hanging out with my mom's friends up in Denver. Which, to go back to the candy bars, when I brought candy bars, Mike was like, "That's gayer than you saying, than Jason saying he's gonna hang out with his mom's friends." But yeah, that was. I mean, driving up with us, that would be fun. That was a part of the plan. But whatever. If you're saying, "Yeah, I'm up in Denver. I got friends up there, so I'm gonna be hanging out with them before the show," that's fine. Don't say your mom's friends. I'm hanging out with my mom's friends up in Denver. That's brutal. That sucks. Lie next time. Don't be honest about that. Lie to me. But I brought candy. Mike bullied me. And the first thing when we walk into the green room, Mike yells to all the staff. He goes, "Hey, everybody. Russell brought you guys all candy bars." And 6 people are like, "Oh, sick. Yeah. Hell yeah. I love candy." They loved me. They loved me. They absolutely loved the candy. They were stoked on it. One guy came up to me before the show, one of the staff members, and he said, I heard there's candy bars. I haven't seen any. I've been looking for the candy bars. Are you the guy? I hate to assume, are you the guy that brought the candy bars?" I said, "Yeah, I just haven't put them out yet for everyone. Can you show me where to put them out?" He said, "Follow me." So he took me back to the back area where the back bar, showed me where to put the candy bars for everyone. And he was saying, "This is so nice. No one ever does this for us. I appreciate that. That's so cool of you." So suck on that, Mike. Everyone loved the candy bars. You didn't bring jack shit, did you? So anyways, all that to say, Jason was 2 minutes late because instead of just ordering pizza to the club, he ordered pickup from a pizza place, was going to pick it up and then walk it into, I think he wanted to look like a hero, walk it into the club instead of just ordering it to the club. And yeah, he was 10 minutes away, 15 minutes before the show started, and the pizzas still weren't ready. And so he texted us and said, "I hate Cosmos Pizza. They're ruining me. I'll be there in 10 minutes. So he got to the show 2 minutes before the show started, and then after he got done hosting, just ran to the back of the green room and called the pizza place and reordered pizza to be delivered. Nonetheless, we looked like heroes. Jason and I, we did a great job. Everyone did love us. They did not carry us out on their shoulder, but they were big fans. And now Mike looks like selfish. He looks cheap. He looks like a neo-Nazi, as he's prone to do. So it really worked out for us. It was really nice. It was a good time. 200 people. Jason did good. Didn't even do Trump. Didn't even do Trump impression. We're always making fun of him for doing Trump impressions. He did 10, 15 minutes. Sans Trump. Still did a great job. Good for you, Jason. He did do Biden. I was telling Mike before I got up. I said, I don't have to pay attention to how much time Jason's done, because I know I don't have to go up until I hear him do Trump. And then he never did Trump, but I did hear Biden, and I thought, that's Trump adjacent. I should probably get ready. that was a good call because he was walking off. I did okay. I did fine. I did middling. I want to crush. I want to be the guy that kills and buries the headliner, but I did okay. I did 20 minutes. I think it's a good 20 minutes. Honestly, I listened back to the recording. I did do good. I'm beating up on myself. I did do a good job. A lot of burps. What can I say? Oh, that's like a hiccup burp. That one hurt. I did do a good job. It was a good 20 minutes. It was a good feature set. I don't think anyone would say I did a bad job. I think anyone who listened to this said, I like the middle guy. The middle guy was good. He was very funny. There's specifically one chunk of time that I did that no one laughed at, and it's in my head. I can't stop thinking about it. All my other jokes did great. It's a big room, 200 people. People were laughing pretty consistently. Didn't have a lull in there other than this little chunk where I talk about, I've only had one girlfriend, which is a lie. I've had 2 girlfriends, but I'm a character on stage. So I've only had one girlfriend because girls my age were not attracted to staunchly Republican 13-year-olds. And that kind of got like a ha-ha. I don't know what happened, but when I hit puberty, my body's changing. I'm flooded with hormones. I got my first pubes, and all I could think about is what a hero John McCain was, and that got less laughs. I have a joke where I reference, I just say, my buddies would be like in gym class, oh, you see when Sarah leaned over, you could see down her shirt, you could see her bra a little bit. And I was like, guys, did you hear me? I said his middle name is Hussein. Show me the birth certificate. And I just kept getting more and more. It's funny to think of a 13-year-old boy being super Republican. That's the joke. But people just, I think, heard me being Republican, not a 13-year-old boy being Republican. And there's like there's two more jokes that come after that still. I just keep honing in, and by the end of it, 3 people thought I was funny. 3 people thought it was super funny. They were loving it. 197 other people did not think it was funny. So that's like a 3-minute bit, which no one liked it. So, if you're doing 20 minutes, that's it's a little over 10% of the time people didn't laugh at a single thing I said. So that was tough. So I'm really in my head about it. But other than that, it was a great show. It went good. Mike destroyed, as he is prone to do. My father came. My father, Thomas, and my uncle Neil, which is cool because my dad doesn't come to comedy shows a lot because they are too crass and too vulgar for him, which that's fine. That's your thing. But he came because I'm doing 20 minutes at Comedy Works, and he knows that's a big deal. So he decided he would come, support his boy. And I watched him like a hawk the entire time. My Uncle Neil is having a great time. Neil's loving it. He's cackling. He's casual like this. He's laughing. He's coming up. He's moving all over the place. Neil's loving it. My dad is quietly just rocking back and forth see if it's a 90-minute show and I did 20 minutes. So for 70 minutes, an hour and 10 minutes, just quietly rocking back and forth, having the worst time he's ever had. So that was miserable for me to watch him just have a terrible time. I appreciate him supporting me, but that was rough. There was one of Mike's jokes that he liked. If you're familiar with Mike Hammock, he has a joke. I had a sister-in-law who transitioned, became my brother-in-law. And when we had the conversation about it, my sister-in-law said to me, Mike, I want to be frank with you. That was pretty much the whole conversation right there. My dad lost it at that joke. That joke he loved. He loved that one. So 20 minutes and 30 seconds, my dad had a good time. And for the rest of it, he was not thrilled. Uncle Neil having a blast, though. Uncle Neil was loving it. After the show, talking to my dad, and I asked him how it was, and he said, first guy, we had to get through him. We had to get past the first guy. So I was like, that sucks. And, of course, I immediately ran and told Jason, my dad doesn't think you're funny at all. How funny is that? He said, loved you. You did great. I haven't seen you do that much time. I haven't seen you in so long do stand up other than the little clips you send me. That was amazing. I love you. You're the best. How'd you like Mike? Mike is Mike, and what can you say? It's not for me, which is a little uncomfortable. I mean, I get that I thought Mike is good enough that he would win my dad over. Still nothing. But it is awkward because, Mike and our kids hang out, which means they're invited to Violet's birthday parties. And my dad is Grandpa's also invited to Violet's birthday parties. So he's just going to see Mike at Violet's birthday party and have a PTSD Vietnam flashback about Mike saying the F word too many times. And my dad, I don't know if he'll just fully avoid him. If he'll just not acknowledge him at all. That'll be fun. That'll be a fun little interaction at Violet's birthday party. But as I'm talking to my dad, rewind with me. I'm outside. I'm waiting for my dad so that I could see him and talk to him. Gal comes up to me. She says, hey, Russell, good to see you. I'm leaving. I would love to say goodbye to Jason. Could you get Jason for me? I said I'd be happy to get Jason for you. I think he's right over there. I'll go shout him down for you. What was your name? She says, "Oh, we've met before." Oh, I'm sorry. I must have just slipped my name. What was your name again? Well, we've met. Like at the roast battle. Remember when you won the roast battle? I was there. We talked for like 5-10 minutes. Yeah, sorry. Ugh. I guess I don't remember. I'm so sorry. Can you just remind me what your name was one more time? Maybe it's the hair. Maybe I dyed my hair blonde. Maybe that's what it is. You don't recognize me because I dyed my hair blonde. That's probably it. That's probably it. That's probably why I don't remember you. What was your name again? Or actually, you know what it is? I got glasses. I got new glasses. These are like cherry red kind of new glasses, and they're a different frame, a different fit. So you probably don't recognize me. I changed up my do. I got new hair, new glasses, so that's probably why you don't recognize me. So what was your name? Tell me your name so I can go get Jason. My name's Nikki. Okay. Thank you, Nikki. I will go get Jason for you. Yeah, we talked for like 5-10 minutes at the roast battle. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Heard you loud and clear. Let me go get Jason. I can't remember when, but at one point, she was like, "You don't remember me?" And I was like, "No." And she said, for some reason, she brought up, she's like, "I just did Jason's podcast. And I went, "Oh, I thought you looked familiar. Maybe that's where I remember you from." She goes, "It hasn't come out yet." Okay, then why are you bringing it up? Why'd you bring it up? I lied. I fully lied, but why'd you bring it up that you'd done Jason's podcast if that wasn't – that's not relevant to anything. So I go get Jason. He comes out. I go talk to my dad. As I'm talking to my dad, 15 minutes goes by. She comes up. We're outside. She kind of taps me on the shoulder, and she says, "Hey, Russell, great job. I just want to say goodbye. Great job. You did a great job up there. Thank you very much, Nikki." Thank you, Mickey. Nikki, I won't forget you next time. I'll make sure, new hairdo or not, I won't forget you next time. She goes, "Yeah, I'm actually really easy to remember because I'm Nikki." Yes, you're Nikki. Very good. Because I'm Nikki. I do pornography. I make porn. Just right in front of my dad, who had a nightmare of a time because of how crass the show was. This woman's like, "Yeah, I make pornography. I make people giggle and orgasm." I don't know what she wanted me to say. I'm like, "Oh, now I recognize you." That's where I should have just stared right at her chest and been like, "Now I recognize you. You should have told me that." I didn't recognize you with all your clothes on. No, I don't. Why would I know that? She was like, "Yeah, I do pornography." And she was like, "I make porn? Huh? I make people giggle and orgasm. I do comedy and porn. Do you remember me?" Get out of here. Go away. I'm trying to talk to my dad. I don't want to know about your pornography. It is so interesting. Like, of course, I looked it up after. No, not like an OnlyFans. Not like, "Oh, I do OnlyFans behind a paywall." Full pornography. You can find. It's crazy. So I don't know if she aged out of the program or whatever it is. And on the drive home, I'm talking to Mike, and he's said, comedy is for comedians on the way up and actors on the way down, and they hit this axis, this point everyone meets. Comedians are on the way up, and then you get famous enough as a comedian that you do movies and TV shows. You do comedy so that you can get on movies and TV shows. Movie and TV show stars, when their career starts to plummet, start to do stand-up comedy as a way to stay relevant and keep making money. And so I guess now pornography is a part of that. There's like a handful of porn star actresses doing stand-up now. So it really is. If porn stars are like, porn's not working out for me, I guess I could do stand-up. Kind of, isn't the joke of like, well, for women, it's like, if none of this ever works out, if I failed nursing school, at least I could do pornography. At least I could sell my tits online. Now people who sell their tits online are like, at least I could do stand-up. Stand-up is literally the bottom of the barrel. There's nothing worse. There's nothing less embarrassing you can do than you can be as a stand-up comedian. That hurts my feelings. This is my life's passion. That deeply hurts my feelings. That sucks so bad. But Nikki, if you're out there, may the Lord bless you and keep you and keep your shirt on, all that good stuff. So it was a good show. It's 35 minutes in. Does this have to be an hour? I make the rules. It doesn't have to be an hour. I'd say let's go for 45 or until my wife gets home, because this is too embarrassing for me to let her catch me doing this. Yeah, fun show. Got fun shows coming up tonight in Woodland Park. Kelsey Rosen, Callan Reese, that'll be fun. I'm driving Callan up to Woodland Park. Callan, please don't do drugs in my car. I've let people do drugs in my car before, but now I'm a man. That was a boy back then. Now I'm a man. Now I'm going to stick up for myself. No one's allowed to do dabs or roll a blunt in my car anymore. I've let it happen too many times, and my wife is too mad all the time. That happened. It happened enough times in a row. This was pretty early on in stand-up. It happened enough times in the row where my wife was like, you're not allowed to drive comedians around anymore because you don't have the courage, you don't have the bravery, you don't have the spine or the backbone to tell them, hey, don't do drugs in my car. Which she is 1,000% correct on that. So I only recently have been allowed to start inviting comedians back into my car now, because I'm not at a place where I'm afraid, well, if I tell such and such that they can't light dabs up in my car, I'll never get booked again. I'll never do stand-up again if I tell John he can't do drugs in my car. I'm established now. I'm a staple of the scene. Now I can throw my weight around. But yeah, I was just letting people do drugs in my car, and I would just go like, I'd prefer if you did. Oh, it's happening. Okay, well, this is going to be a long hour and 20-minute drive up to Denver with you just ripping bong hits in the backseat of my car, and me just being furious about it. So now I'm allowed to drive comedians again. So Callan, please don't do drugs in my car. I don't think he will. I think he respects me. He fears me too much. Let's see, the 22nd. I think this will be out. This will be out right before then. The 22nd, Kuyan Comedy at Trinity Brewing Company down in Colorado Springs with Nick Dean and Matt Kobos. That's a great show. The 28th, I'm doing Loggers and Laughs up in Denver. At some point, I'm doing New Faces, July 24th or something like that. It's a Wednesday. New Faces Comedy Works contest. I did it last year, made it to the second round. Got edged out by Eland, who won, so I'm actually, it doesn't matter when I lost to Eland, but he was going to win anyway, so it actually doesn't hurt my feelings at all. But got knocked out of the second round by him, and then he won. So what are you going to do? And Kate McLaughlin, who she also beat me in the second round, and she came in second for the overall thing, so I don't feel bad about losing to them. But I'm doing that again, I think on the 24th or something. So come help me make it to the second round again. I'm sure there's other important things going on, but who cares? I got to work. Finish my foster care certification, speaking of important things. Or you do half of it with the foster care organization, and then you have to do half with the state. But the foster care organization has to approve your half that you did for them first before they let you take the state certification. So just got approved for that. So getting that on the way. House is getting done. Who knows? Maybe by the end of the year we'll have a foster kid or something. That'd be nuts. That would be crazy. We've only been working on the bathroom and kitchen since March. It's almost been 3 months. So maybe in another 6 months, maybe we'll have everything done. Seeing where this asbestos gets us. Genuinely, if there's a little bit of asbestos, if there's like this tile or this vinyl is all under like the hardwood, and we'd have to rip all of it up, then we're screwed. There's nothing we can do there. We're just screwed. We either we can't touch it, or we have to spend $30,000, get asbestos mitigation team out here, whatever it is. If, and I suspect that it might be, if there's just a little bit of this tile or vinyl behind the fridge that my wife saw, and that's the only place it exists, how bad can it be if okay, here we go. We're getting rid of the refrigerator that is sitting on top of it. We're getting rid of that. All the cabinets, we're getting rid of all that. New stove, we're getting rid of everything. So keep that in mind. Everything's going to get demoed in this kitchen. We're effectively starting from scratch. So that's thing one to keep in mind. Thing two, if it's just a little bit, if it's just that little patch that they left behind the fridge, in my mind I go, well, if it's everywhere, then we're screwed. If it's just there, then I'm pretty sure it's not asbestos. I'm pretty sure it's not asbestos, because why would they have ripped it up everywhere but there if it was asbestos? Like, either they would have ripped it all up unofficially and just gotten away, just finished the thing, or they would have had a mitigation team out there. It doesn't make any sense that there would be one patch of this tile vinyl. I think it's not asbestos. They were just lazy. If it is asbestos, I got plastic sheeting. I'll tape it to the roof, tape it to the floor. Okay? I'll make a vacuum-sealed environment. I will wear a breathalyzer, whatever. I'll wear a mask, the actual official, like, masks, not the, like, hand-knit one, but one that's, like, for a doctor or people doing construction or whatever. I'll wear a mask. I'll wear eye protection. I'm just going to rip that shit up. I'm just going to rip up the asbestos. It can't be. I know it's bad. I know it's illegal. That's why it's so bad they had to make it illegal. It was killing people. Also, people did survive with it for a little while, right? So it's not like, same thing with like raw eggs or like raw meat, right? It's not that you will get sick if you eat raw meat. You will get salmonella if you eat raw eggs. It's just that the likelihood is increased. It's just a higher chance that you will get sick from those things than if they were cooked. But it's not a guaranteed thing. Is that how asbestos works? Where it's like, yeah, it's not gonna hurt. It's not guaranteed to hurt me. It's just my chance of getting hurt is a little bit higher, right? And if it's just a little bit, and I'm wearing a mask, and I'm wearing eye protection, and I got it sealed off with plastic wrap so it can't get anywhere else in the house, and even if some particulates did get on the refrigerator, it got on the stove, it got on the cabinets. We're demoing all of that anyways. We're getting rid of all that stuff. I think I can get away with it. If it's just a little bit of asbestos, I think I can get away with it. I'm not worried about it. Lydia doesn't like that kind of talk. She doesn't like a little bit of asbestos talk. But I think it'll be fine. Really, maybe someone talk me out of this. I don't. If I'm wearing mouth and ear and eye protection, I got it taped off. We're scrapping the whole kitchen anyways. What's gonna happen? It can't get in my lungs if I'm wearing a mask. Even if it did, is it guaranteed to give me cancer or whatever, or is it just my likelihood of getting cancer is a little bit higher? I wasn't long for this world anyway, so who cares? If it's a lot of asbestos, there's not much we can do. But if it's just a kiss, just a treat of asbestos, I'll take care of it. It'll be fine. If any of you know anything about asbestos, please stop me. I know you can send it for like testing, so maybe maybe I take a little bit, I send it in for like an asbestos test and know for sure, and then we'll know for sure if I should even take the risk or not. But and maybe it's not asbestos, and then I don't have to worry about it. But if it is, I'm still gonna do it. I can barely hang up drywall. How hard can asbestos be? How bad can the thing that killed all those little people on the set of The Wizard of Oz could be? That's another thing. Like, it's like, yeah, asbestos kills people. I know it kills people. I know it's bad. I'm not trying to take away from that at all. They used it as snow on the set of The Wizard of Oz. And I know all those people died. But yeah, when you're using it as snow, there's a lot of it. You're probably going to get it. If it's just a little bit, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. That's also how I felt about COVID, where I was like, I think it was, we didn't get it till 2022 or something like that. We got it Thanksgiving of 2022. And during COVID, during shutdown, after shutdown, all of that, I kept telling Lydia, like, we haven't gotten it already. We're just not going to get it. Which doesn't make any sense. And I know that doesn't make any sense, and I would say that as I was saying it. I'm like, I know it doesn't logically make sense that just because I've never been in a car accident, which I have, but then I'll never be in a car accident. Just because I haven't gotten mugged yet means I will never get mugged. Right? Just because something hasn't happened to you doesn't mean that it will never happen, but I 1,000% with COVID. I'm like, there's no way if we haven't gotten it by now, we will literally just never get COVID. And then we got COVID Thanksgiving, and we gave it to her whole family in Iowa. I think I've had COVID since then. I just haven't tested for it because I want to do shows. At a certain point, it's just the flu, right? Everyone who was going to die from it has died from it. So we're all good now. We separated the wheat from the chaff or whatever they say, but yeah, when we got COVID, Lydia was bedridden for 5 days, for a long time. Just could not get out of bed. When I had COVID, it was on Thanksgiving, and I said, you know what? I don't feel great. I'm like, I got cold sweats, and I'm a little sleepy. I'm just going to go back to the hotel room. I'm going to take a nap. Took a 2-hour nap, came back to Thanksgiving. I'm like, I think I feel better now. Crushed some pumpkin pie with Cool Whip on top. And that was me having COVID. I still didn't feel great. Went to bed, woke up the next morning, felt fine. That was my COVID, was I had cold sweats, and I was a little sleepy. Some people, my wife, bedridden for days. We have friends who they got COVID, and our friend, I think it's Leah. Is this you? Leah, you couldn't like taste for like a year and a half or something like that after you got it. It was nuts. But who cares? The government made it up anyways. It's all a scam. What are we at? We're at 48. Okay. We'll get it to 50. This is fun. This is good. And I didn't have to rely on anyone but myself and my own train of thought. You guys don't know how much better I would be at this if I did drugs. Just let that stream of consciousness go. If I wasn't hopped up on caffeine, if I was hopped up on grain alcohol, I would be loose. I would be flowing. You wouldn't be able to get me to stop. This is all completely sober. I think I said this before, but I think that's the biggest reason I shouldn't drink or do drugs. Not because it's like a moral thing or a health thing. It's just like, can you imagine me also doing drugs or also drinking? What an absolute pant load of a guy that would be. Like, it would suck so bad. Russell doesn't need his inhibitions lowered any more than they already are. I actually need to tighten it up a little bit. I really want to try Adderall. Have I said this before? I really want to try Adderall. Not because I am a drug addict or I'm freaky with drugs. It's just, I think it would help me in my day-to-day life. I think I have ADHD. I think I would like to try Adderall as a medication. But also I had a buddy who lawyer friend. You all know him, lawyer friend. And he told me, yeah, when I was in law school, I was taking Adderall to get through it for a little while. And then it kind of hit me of, oh, if I can't do this without Adderall, that means I can't do this. If I can't become a lawyer without drugs, then I'll either always need drugs to be a lawyer, or as soon as I stop taking the drugs, I'm going to be a terrible, like, if I can't do it without it, why would I want to do it with it? Which, actually, I was like, that's probably, I've made it this far without Adderall. I've made it almost 30 years without Adderall, even if I have ADHD. I've made it this far. How much difference is it going to make if it was, wow, it actually rewires my brain and I can focus so much more now. Yeah, but I made it this far without it. If I need it, would I have made it this far? I don't know. But that's exactly how I feel about this and stand-up and stuff. Of people have told me before, like, it's crazy that you do this sober. I'm like, it's crazy you do this inebriated. That's nuts to me. But if I had to do this inebriated, then that means that I can't do this. If I have to take drugs in order to be able to do stand-up, that means that I can't do stand-up. And I would rather know in my heart of hearts that I can do it than always wonder, like, yeah, if I'm a fraud or whatever. So, Dr. Pepper, pretty good. Pepsi's pretty good. If you're not watching the podcast, I'm pointing at the bottles that are behind me. This is where I work. This is how people see me when I hop on a Zoom call and say, hey, welcome to the company. Would love to walk you through how our software works. They see Dad's root beer and a Bubble Up and a Dr. Wells and a Moxie. This is what they see behind me. And I keep waiting for someone to be like, wow, that's so cool. And you're actually hot? And should I take my shirt off mid-Zoom call because you're such a hot, hip, cool guy? But no, in fact, no one's even brought it up once. Not only have they not, I almost wish they would say, that's lame as hell, but no one's even mentioned my cool soda bottle collection, which I got rid of a lot of soda. I didn't save all of the soda bottles from every show, which I should have, because I got 14, including a can. I should have 24. I don't know what happened to those ones. But I got all the bottle caps. All the bottle caps they're somewhere up here. Where did I put the bottle caps? I got the bottle caps. In case the apocalypse ever comes, we can use those for coin. Well, 52 minutes. I think, well, it's 52 minutes on that. I did take a couple. Well, it's close enough. Whatever. I think we're going to call it. I don't need to hit an hour. In fact, I really want to hit an hour just for the sake of consistency, but also for the sake of unburdening myself from the shackles of consistency. I'm going to stop it early. I'm going to force myself to do it and have to live with the consequences. So there you go. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for watching the podcast. Please tell your friends. Please enjoy it. Share it. Follow it. TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. Buy tickets to Pike's Punk's comedy show. Next one, last Saturday of June, we got Jocelyn Sharp. Last Saturday of July, we got John Novosad, a.k.a. Hippie Man. And then the last Saturday of August, I believe, is Mitch Jones. Love Mitch Jones. So please buy tickets to those. That's how I make most of my money in comedy, is the Pike's Punk show. So please come to those. Please buy tickets. Please share the podcast with people.